Spider-Man Brand New Day hits theaters a year from now on July 31st, 2026. But I'm so excited for this movie that instead of being a normal kid and playing video games or something, I don't know, I've been very carefully analyzing every single bit of information that has come out so far to find and piece together the perfect plot for Spider-Man Brand New Day. And this is not just going to be me telling you guys the details that everyone already knows. Instead, I'll be piecing these details and making a plot for the movie. That's enough yapping, so let's get on with the video. So we know that this movie takes place in 2027. We see Peter Parker and what he's been up to for the past few years. My theory is that during a montage or recap of the last few years, there's where we would see a lot of the many villains confirmed for this movie, like Tarantula, Ramrod, Boomerang, and the many thousand more they announced. But now in the present time, we would see Peter's struggles like paying rent, or his college life, and even living by himself, or working for the Daily Bugle because the man's broke. Similar to Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man PS4, or PS5, or whatever it's called now, I don't know. Peter would attend college. I'm not sure which one it would be, but for reference, I'm going to say Empire State University. And Peter's college could open so many character possibilities, like Harry Osborn, Gwen Stacy, Dr. Connors as a teacher, and others. But the biggest one for the movie's sake is Bruce Banner as a teacher. This Bruce Banner would be a retired Avenger. He figured out how to fully get rid of the Hulk, because let's be honest, who the hell wants to see Smart Hulk again? As we know, because of the events of Daredevil Born Again, vigilantes are now illegal. This would obviously include Spider-Man. And the movie will showcase Peter's struggles of trying to save people while also being hunted down by the police. Now, at the time I'm making this video, there are reports that say Mr. Negative is not part of this movie, and that the main villain is Scorpion. But we did see Spider-Man fighting in what looked to be a truck with the inner demon symbol on it. So for now, I'm sticking with Mr. Negative as the main villain of the movie. Martin Lee is a philanthropist. He's a well-liked and respected guy. He's also the guy who's gonna keep Feast going. So he should have a connection to Peter, which this would obviously be important later in the movie. Now, let's talk about Mr. Negative's origin. Before being Martin Lee, he was actually a human trafficker with a different name. He would help smuggle people from China to the US. But during one of those trips, the boat they would take actually crashed. And in that shipwreck, a man called Martin Lee died, which then Mr. Negative stole his identity to find a new life in America. But after arriving in the US, he was captured by a criminal group and experimented on with a strange drug. This drug gave him powers, but also split his mind. One side became the lovable Martin Lee, and the other one, Mr. Negative. And that's his origin. At least that's how it was in the comics. Obviously, I'm not sure if that's the same origin he'll have in the movie, but for this plot, I'm gonna keep it like that. Now, his motivation for the movie. Obviously, it could be a lot of different things. A cool idea would be him trying to save a loved one, like a family member, maybe a daughter. And this character could be played by Sadie Sink, because as we know, her character is a big part of this movie, and that would be a cool idea to explore. But for this plot, I'm gonna stick with him being driven by power and control. Running a secret criminal empire while hiding behind the mask of Martin Lee, his goal is to expand his influence by corrupting others with his negative energy powers, gaining control over the city's underworld and political systems, all while seeking revenge for his traumatic past. Of course, Spider-Man would find out and try to stop him, to which Martin Lee would then hire someone to kill Spider-Man. And there's where Scorpion comes in. Matt Gargan is an ex-mercenary who blames Spider-Man for ruining a major job and leaving him scarred, as he did in Spider-Man Homecoming. Hired by Mr. Negative to eliminate Spidey, Gargan agrees, but not just for the paycheck. He wants revenge, and sees this as his chance to prove he's a threat to be feared. But Spider-Man would at first defeat him. And later, Gargan's obsession with vengeance leads him to undergo the Scorpion experiment, turning him into something monstrous, both physically and mentally. But in the meantime, after Spider-Man defeats Scorpion, Mr. Negative would go for a more efficient target to eliminate Spider-Man: the Hulk. Bruce Banner is living a calm, retired from superhero duties life. He's a teacher now. But Mr. Negative, with his abilities, would be able to trigger the Hulk, obviously to kill Spider-Man. And this time, it would actually be effective. As strong, glorious, amazing, spectacular, incredible, and aura-filled as Spider-Man is, he is not nearly as powerful as the actual Hulk. This would lead to Spider-Man being defeated or even nearly killed. Now, how exactly would Spider-Man be able to stop Hulk? Well, when it was first confirmed that Hulk would be in this movie, we all went and referenced that time in the comics Hulk remembered Peter after Mephisto's spell. And I think this would be a perfect way the Hulk can be defeated, but not actually being defeated. Remembering Peter would give Hulk a sense of relief and trust, turning Hulk good again, and possibly working with Peter to stop Mr. Negative. But obviously, with the destruction he would do in the movie, he would also be hunted down by the police, leading him to potentially leaving Earth just like he did in Age of Ultron and setting up other movies for him. Now, let's talk about the Punisher. Well, talking about Frank Castle's role in this movie is a bit challenging because, as we know, the Punisher is getting a short film coming up. And I suppose we would have to watch a short film before knowing what his role is going to be in this movie. So, for now, I'll just keep it simple. Just like Spider-Man, the Punisher would try to fight the threats in the city, but he will want to kill them. And obviously, Spider-Man's not going to let this happen, so he'll try to stop him. This would create a conflict and a dynamic between the two, potentially making them fight early in the movie. Now, one of my ideas for this plot is having both Spider-Man and the Punisher arrested. This is mostly just an idea of mine. I think it would be a good idea worth exploring, kind of like in the Superman movie. And I think this would be a great moment for Peter and Frank to bond, because they're going to spend some time in wherever they're keeping them. Peter and Frank would talk about their beliefs and what they stand for, and understand that they're both trying to save people, just that one does it a little differently. And I think the one to arrest them would be Captain America. But he would obviously let them go because he knows they're all on the same team. Now, one of the biggest questions surrounding this movie is who the hell does Sadie Sink play? This could be so many characters. Like, for example, a big fan theory is that she'll play Firestar or even Jean Grey. But as cool as this would be, I'm just not a big fan of the idea. Adding another big character like an X-Men in an already big character-packed film? This would just turn this movie into an event more than an actual Spider-Man film, like No Way Home. And what we want from Brand New Day is a grounded Spider-Man film. Instead of adding a character like an X-Men, how about she plays characters like Gwen Stacy or even Felicia Hardy? Characters that are actually part of a grounded Spider-Man story. And adding these characters would give Peter a new love interest. Because as much as a lot of people liked MJ from the previous movies, I think it's time to start fresh. And also not ruining a great ending from the previous film. And I know Zendaya is supposedly casted for this movie, but I hope it's just for flashbacks or something like that. So for this plot, I'm gonna stick with Sadie Sink playing either Gwen Stacy or Felicia Hardy. But anyways, everything I just talked about would set up a big final battle. Mr. Negative and the Inner Demons alongside a very powerful and corrupted Scorpion against our heroes. Now, I don't really know how this would end, but it would be cool to explore emotional ideas like Martin Lee bonding with Frank Castle about losing loved ones, like they both did. Or even Bruce Banner bonding with Martin Lee about being a person whose life changed because of a failed experiment, like they also both did. But anyways, that's pretty much what I got. I try to work with the little information we have. I mean, the only real details we have from this movie are castings and this beautiful new suit. If you stuck around till the end of this video, bro, you're goated. And tell me down below in the comments what you think, or what you would add, or if you think my ideas are complete garbage and I should never post again, or I don't know, that was actually rude. But alright, till next time.